Tistou of the Green Thumbs by Maurice Druon, Chapter 3. Concerning Mirepoil and Mr. Father's factory. Mirepoil was the name of the town in which Tistou was born. Its fame and its wealth derived from Mr. Father's house, and above all, his factory. At first sight, Mirepoil was very much like any other town. It had a church, a prison, a barracks, a tobacconist's shop, a grocer's, and a jeweller's. And yet the town, though it was like any other, was known throughout the world because it was at Mirepoil that Mr. Father made guns which were much in demand. Guns of all sizes, big ones, little ones, long ones, guns you could put in your pocket, guns mounted on wheels, guns that needed trains to carry them, guns for airplanes, for tanks and ships, guns which could fire higher than the clouds, others which could fire underwater, even a particularly light kind of gun which could be carried on mule or camelback in stony countries with impassable trails instead of roads. In short, Mr. Father was an eminent manufacturer. Ever since he had been old enough to understand, Tistou had heard his elders say, "Tistou, my boy, ours is a sound business. Guns are not like umbrellas, which nobody wants when the sun is shining, or straw hats which merely stay in store windows during wet summers. Whatever the weather, guns sell." Sometimes when Tistou didn't want his dinner, Mrs. Mother would lead him to the window and point out to him, afar off, right at the bottom of the garden, well beyond the summer house where Gymnast was standing, the huge factory that belonged to Mr. Father. Mrs. Mother would make Tistou count the 9 tall chimneys which all belched fire at the same time. Then, leading him back to his plate, she would say, "Eat up your soup, Tistou, for you must grow up big and strong. One day you'll be the master of Mirepoil. Making guns is a very tiring thing to do, and we can't afford weaklings in our family." For no one doubted that one day Tistou would succeed Mr. Father as head of the factory, as Mr. Father had succeeded Mr. Grandfather, whose portrait, his face framed in a gleaming beard, his hand placed on a gun carriage, hung on the wall of the big drawing-room. And Tistou, who was really a very good boy, set to and ate up his soup.